in here in just a minute. Am I slightly delayed in starting this? Yes. But in life, things happen and we just have to keep moving forward. I am going to wipe the lens though, because that looks blurry as hell. Hello. It's Sunday evening, and you know what that means. It's time for the Monday morning prompt. As it is every Sunday night. And I keep being like, I haven't published a Substack in months. Meanwhile, I've published one every week while I've been saying that every week. So, also look at this sunglass case. I love it. I think it's so chic. Okay. I hope everyone's having a good night. And let's see. Do I have a little? Yeah. Got a little guy. I'm gonna grab coffee and I'm gonna get my cat fed, and then we will get this going. If anyone has any requests, let me know in the comments in terms of, like, I don't know, lighting. Really, that's that's really all I can customize over here. I keep overfeeding Weem, but she's also like not eating that much right now, so you know, we're really just feeding Weem, trying to make sure that she's getting all the nutrients she needs. I have some emails to write on top of the stuff that I've got to do in terms of writing. So I've got probably like a few rounds of work, which I'm excited to get done. I feel like the last few weeks I've wanted to get more done, and I just haven't had the mental like clarity to do it. So we're gonna knuckle down today. It's all about pushing through, moving forward. Where is my notebook? There it is. What did I do last week? Okay. Last week was the Monday morning prompt number 74, and it was 3 questions. So this week's could be a minute paper, or I could do a brain clear. I need to do a brain clear. So we'll film both. I invite anyone who wants to join me in the brain clear. I find them really helpful. Okay, this is like a little too bright vibes for me. What about, it's a little too mellow. What about mellow? What about deep flat? Soft sunrise. Mellow. Okay. Ooh, maybe I'll light a candle. That'll get the old brain going. It's not always about beauty. Sometimes it's about practicality as well. Okay. Do I have enough paper in my notebook? Let's get started, because the whole point of this is to do work and not just to listen to me babble. But I am gonna switch out my notebook for a minute, so I might like angle the camera differently in a second. I need to figure out where I put that paper. I think it's in here. I have a Muji loose leaf notebook, and I'm gonna take the pages out that are used and put them in their appropriate place, and then I'm gonna restock it. Yeah, okay, let's get it going. I think we're doing 25-minute rounds, but if this is set to 20, okay, we're doing 25 minutes. Grab your coffee, write yourself a list of what you want to get done. We'll work for 25 minutes and we'll chat for 5 minutes. I'd love to know what you're working on if you want to throw any comments in while you're working. We can also have fun discussions on break. And if you get me going about certain topics, I'll keep chatting about them past break. Okay, great. Speaking of break, and good luck. Have fun. What? I basically can take out all of this, right? I like to keep the very front of this notebook the same, which is the first workshop I ever planned for Meeting Medic. And this is my Monday morning prompt notebook. Monday morning prompt number 4. We've come such a long way. Wow. It's actually wild. Okay. I'm like out of room in this notebook, is what I'm realizing. Yikes. Okay, let's see. I mean, that's nice. Monday morning prompt done. So many tabs open now. My God. Bing bong break time. Congratulations, we made it to the first break. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Sunday. Oh, I'm glad your cat's seeing you after 2 weeks. That's so cute. Yeah, cats are demanding that way. Oh god. There's a cat available for adoption. She's 1 years old. She's 1 year old, and her name is Kosciuszko. And she's at the Queens City Adoption Center. And I've been looking at her profile picture so much. So much. She's so cute. She's so cute. Yeah, like the bridge. And also like the stop on the J train that I lived off of when I got this tattoo my first summer that I moved to New York. And I lived with my two best friends, and our lives were perfect. Um, and I have very fond memories. It feel like Kosciuszko was like a big deal to me, so it feels very fated that this cat is named Kosciuszko, and her thing is like, I'm a lap cat. So I have this week of work at the office. Yeah, that's so fair. Honestly, who takes the J train? I took the J train for years and I made fun of the J train every time. Like nobody it's not a real train. And yet it's one of my most ridden trains. It used to be anyway. I feel like now I'm like, what are my most ridden trains? The six was definitely like I lived in Harlem for 2 years, but like I've lived in my apartment currently for 6 years. But I worked from home for a lot of this time. So I have like I've ridden the subway, but I like honestly like walk a lot of places and I take the bus a lot of places. But now that I'm working again, I'm like it's gotta be the L. I don't feel like I'm doxing myself by saying this. Because I'm not saying what stop I get off at, but like I feel like it's gotta be the L. But for a long time, I took the six a lot because I worked 6 days a week. I took the 6 to the 7 to the G every day before COVID, and then I took the G to the E to the 6. Because the 7, I don't know why, but the 7 in the afternoon was like breakdown city at that time. I used to take the Q, but yeah, the J train, I used to say I left my heart on the J train all the time. I love like I feel like this no other train has a mark on my body, and I have no other tattoos. I went to the IFC earlier today because I saw Maddie's Secret with a friend. I have a lot of thoughts about that movie, but I don't feel like I'm ready to publicly talk about them because they're more critical than I'd like them to be. But we went to the IFC and I was like, oh, I got a tattoo like right next to this place, but my tattoo shop is gone. Because I got my tattoo at Fantasy Tattoo, which used to be next to the Gray's Papaya, and now there is no Gray's Papaya and there is no Fantasy Tattoo. But we got it at 3 in the morning, and my friend was like, "Oh, so it wasn't planned?" And I was like, "Oh no, it was planned. We had a whole plan. We went to see the terrible Bourne movie that starred Jeremy Renner, and I've never seen any of the other Bourne movies because that was the first one I saw. And I was like, this is bad." And I think we saw that at the IFC, but maybe not. And then the last movie I saw at IFC was Mindy Kaling's Late Night, one of the worst movies ever. But after we saw the Bourne movie, we went and got Meatball Shop because the Meatball Shop used to be down there, RIP Meatball Shop. And then we went and got tattoos. And my friend got like the full like Helvetica filled in circle J train tattoo, like here. And then my other friend got a J drawn like here on the inside of her. So we used to always joke like J for because my friend worked in jewelry, so we were like J for jewelry, J for and on my way, and I was like, oh, J for jokes. So I'm really pleased with that. Honestly, I think it did. I like so yeah, anyway, this cat named Kosciuszko. I'm like, we're soulmates. And she's a little black cat. And like, I know that she won't be boo boo, but I know that she won't be boo boo. That's really funny. just for getting some tats. Um, oh yeah, my sister lived in Boston. Actually, my brother lived in Boston too, but I never think about that. My sister lived in Boston for a while. She lived on Comm Ave off the Green Line. Um, and yeah, it's just not the same. Um, Yeah, I feel like tattoos are one of those things I just like everybody kept telling me like you'll want more once you get one. And I'm like glad I got this one when I was 19. Um but I don't think I'll ever get another one. Like, it's just not for me. Um yeah, but the green line is hell. Waiting for the green line in the snow is truly some of the coldest I've ever been in my life, and that's saying a lot. Because I've been pretty cold. Anyway, oh god, okay, 25 more minutes, we can do it. I'm writing the Monday morning prompt. I wish you all the best of luck with what you're working on. I will at some point have to take photos of this, but I'm glad that that's there. Oh, that's so cute. I love memorial tattoos. I think they're very, very sweet. Um, I don't know. Millennium Line's a pretty sick name for a public transit, though. Like, it's better. Like in Dublin, we have the Dart and the Louis. Like, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I cracked myself up. I will stop talking at this point, but I cracked myself up because I was like, I haven't written a blog in so long. And then I was like, Monday morning prompts count as blogs, which means that since April 30th, I have actually put out 14 blogs. Like, I'm a fucking the way that I judge myself is incredible to even me. Okay, great. And break. Good job, everybody. Go team. Whew. Tell me, do you like what you see? Hey. Anyone who's here wants to sign up for the August Sunday series, it is free. And it is basically this, but on Zoom. How do I, how do I get here? How do I get to the comments section? There we go. Hey, cool. I need to start asking people where they're coming from, because it would be helpful to know. Okay. Okay, so I need to take photos with the iPad. Once again, we are doing it this way. Whatever, it works. It's never the goal to do it this way. And yet. Good lord. If you ever want to see just how much cat hair is on everything you own, drag a light source directly over it. Why not? Oh, I really want to go get that cat. Okay. Like, what if I go after work tomorrow? But that would be wild of me. TBH. I really should put the grid on, but I don't use this thing for photos except for in this exact case. Do all of them have? Good lord. Filters. Vivid. Crop. Boop, boop, boop. Amazing. Check. This is great. Love that I'm live narrating this. Okay. Hey. Tell me, do you like what you see? Oof. Sometimes the crop gets so weird on these. Whatever. is that only 8 hours away? Yay, Monday morning prompts done. Okay, now I have emails to write, so I might angle this down a little more. Yay, we did it. It's another 25 minutes and another 5-minute break. Congratulations. Yeah, I got Dunkin'. Okay, I got Dunkin' on the way home. I like went out with a friend, and then on the way home I was like, I'm gonna have to stay up and do this. So I got Dunkin', and like this week I've just been like drinking so much caffeine at such bad times. But like I need to break the cycle. But in order for the cycle to break, you know what I mean? Like I have to get things done. So I'm like running this like series and stuff. Anyway, um, I really don't want to run it on my birthday, but I would, because then it's like, I don't know, it's like nice to do a thing that I care about on my birthday. Um, and I'm kind of sad I like won't be in the office on my birthday because I feel like that'll be fun. But my boss saw some old food I made on my Instagram and was like, that looks really good. And I was like, it was really good. Sometimes you do gotta dunk it. And I went and got a peanut butter Dunkin' latte because like people were all over my TikTok feed talking about it. And I went and got it and it was fine, but it tasted like a melted milkshake. Like I was like, this is the sweetest thing in the world. Like, not even sweet, just like thick. Um, that's fair. I part of me is like, I don't know if it's like the Virgo in me. I Birthdays are really tough for me to like deal with. So I feel like I'd like to be like busy and distracted. And like my last birthday was both great and terrible. It was great because I went to a 3-hour long comedy class and like nobody knew that it was my birthday. It was like the second week of class. And then me and a bunch of my friends from class ended up going to Winston Bakery, which was like around the corner, and we sat and chatted for hours and hours, which pissed off my other friend, and now we're no longer friends. So it was like the best and the worst birthday. But I'm really glad that I went out with those folks because like one of them is who I went out with today. It used to be kind of a running joke in high school that like I always cry on my birthday, which was true back then. Like, because things would always happen, or it's just the reality of what it was. So I have a lot of like, I wish someone else would take care of my birthday feelings for me every year. And then, like, I'm an adult. So sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, for the last few years, I've really wanted to go to the Central Park Boathouse and like sit and like have a cute lunch at the boathouse, and it's been closed. So my hope is that maybe this year I'll be able to go eat like a $40 Caesar salad fucking boatside and pretend I'm in When Harry Met Sally and that one episode of Sex in the City where Carrie and Big fall in the Central Lake Reservoir, and I'm like, that would give you gangrene. So that's always my hope. I've had some fun adult birthdays that have like turned out pretty well. One year I like made everybody come all the way out to Nowadays, and I was living in Harlem. Like, what was I doing? Um, but one year I went to the Russian tea room with a friend. That was really fun. Um, this year we're gonna go see O'Mary a few days before my birthday, and it's also like right around the time that it's my friend's birthday, so it's kind of like a joint birthday. So I'm kind of hoping that like that can be kind of my birthday vibe this year. It's like going to see my favorite show starring one of my favorite people. Um, I kind of want to try to get a gig around my birthday. I mean, this gig would be on my birthday. Like, I need to take gigs wherever I can get them right now is the vibe. Like I have not saved for taxes at all this year, and I need to. So I need to get gigs in order to like pay myself taxes, like put money aside for taxes. You know what I mean? Ugh, so life is so complicated when you're an adult with two businesses. So that's happening. I need to make movies. I need to make videos about the Sunday series. I need to write a blog on Smoke Show because again, it's been a few months and I don't want it to be. I want to record the Hands essay as a podcast this week because guys, that's kind of my timing with these things so far is like the towel. What was the gap between Towel Theory and Towels coming out? It was probably less now that I think about it. Yeah, it was 6 days. We're killing it. We're crushing it. Um, it's just one of those, like, I hate taxes so much. Nice. It's so important to have those buffers. Like, the fact that Chase makes me keep a certain amount in my business account is the reason I'm like, well, I won't be totally fucked, but I will have to like close that account to get money. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. Anyway, sorry. Sorry to bring up everybody's least favorite thing in the world, paying money to a government that doesn't spend it responsibly. Um, okay. Oh God, we have to do another 20 minutes of work. No, I don't want to. I realize I'm the one doing this to all of us, but um, it's so tough. Money is so tough. Okay, we're all doing great.
That's the sigh of relief that only can come from sending that fucking email you've been dreading sending.
Yay! We did it. We did another 25 minutes. Congratulations, everyone. There was so much in the chat. Okay, this is fun. I'm gonna read back through stuff. Da. Wow. Okay. I'm like, this is great. Um, Honestly, the houses on land idea is also an idea that my family has. Um, and I think that's really nice because then you're like together but separate. It's like a compound. Um, Ooh, yeah. Road trip with babies is so tough. Um, yeah, definitely keep us updated. And I also echo that it's very exciting that you're breaking into film and doing stuff. Um, I think like there's so much that goes into like living near community and like forming community with the people around you and being able to like rely on each other without having to be in each other's like space all the time. I think that's really important and hard to get the balance right on. Okay, writing is one of my favorite ways to process things. I'm so glad that was helpful for you. Um, yeah, also like drop the Substack. Um, that's so great. I'm so glad this like I'm like so thrilled this helped you like want to publish a Substack. I think like that's I'm always anytime people are like too many people have Substacks, I'm like, no, not enough people have Substacks. Everyone who wants to express themselves should, and they should do it in as many ways as possible. I am currently writing a Substack as well. Um Here's the thing. What's been holding me back is that my audience surged, and now I'm like, well, you're all here for heated rivalry essays, which is like a very silly thing to assume everybody is there for, even though that's what they signed up from. But it's also, I know that it's also like me and my work. But that's hard to remember. So I'm currently writing and I'm having a good time. So I might just like see this one through. And I know once I like break the seal, we'll be off to the races again. It's that vibe. This might just be like a catch up blog. And then also me being like, does anyone else feel like so fucking like just understood in ways that you just never have before? And like, oh, life is so life is so hard and so like bad and so good all at the same time. I just feel like yeah, like I don't know, I'm getting a I feel like for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm getting a lot of stuff right, and I still feel like I'm getting a lot of stuff wrong. And I know that that's just like life, and you don't get to get it perfect. But like, and also like I want to document things, and I want to let people in, and I want to not feel like I'm letting people in on too much without reciprocity, because I feel like one-sided intimacy is really scary to me. Um, which I don't feel I don't know. I feel like it's been it has been interesting doing both lives and a lot of just like regular video content, because I do feel like when we're live, it's a conversation and it feels very different. And when it's like static video content, there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I don't love what people project onto me after seeing me for like less than 3 minutes. And I know that that's just part of the game that I signed up for, but doesn't mean I have to like it. And I feel like usually I feel like the lives are a little bit like are so much better. It's like kind of unbelievable. But then like last night, someone was like, you should watch the Yaga trailer, and like kept being like, no, you'll like it, and you'll like it because Hudson's so good in it. And I'm like, we fundamentally have misunderstood each other. Like I cannot describe to you like I feel like people don't believe me when I'm like, I don't care about the actors. Like, Like it's great. I'm glad that they have careers. I'm glad that things are going well for them. I won't be watching a horror show and it doesn't matter who's in it. Like, sorry. And I'm glad that so many other people are going to get to enjoy it and I just won't be one of them and that's fine. But this like I just felt so like I'm not trying to be anything but myself by saying this, but I was like it won't happen. Like you can pitch this to me as many times as you want. It's not how I operate. Um and that's like and it was also like it was late at night. Like I don't watch scary stuff at night. I live alone. Like I'm not doing it, you know? And that's like a me boundary. And that's like silly rules that I live by that I made up. Um and I don't expect anyone else to live by those rules, but I feel like sometimes people have assumptions about me or think that I'm like lying about not caring about the actors or something. I don't know. There's like, and I'm like, no, I just like don't like, I don't know. Like, I'm excited. I'm glad that it exists. I'm glad that people are excited about it. I love that for them. But like coming and like trying to make it like, no, no, you'll like it. Like, no, I won't. And that's okay. Like, it's just, there's certain things in life that are just like not my genre, not my bag. And like, I don't want to be like, but like when it comes out, maybe I'll try it, you know, like that's fine. Um, but I feel like yeah, it's one of those things that I'm just like, I feel like people sometimes think I'm lying and I'm like, "No." Like, I'm so fucking serious about the way that I think, like, famous people are not different than we are. I don't know, maybe sometimes I'm like, right. Like, I went this is like the story is weird to tell because it feels like a brag, but it's not a brag, it's to illustrate a point. I went to school with Bono's kids at one point, and one of Bono's daughters was like pretty close with my sister. I was not in the same grade as Eve and Jordan. They were both older than me. But my nickname for a year, people called me Mini Jordan because we were both very good dancers. I don't know what Jordan's up to these days. I haven't kept in touch. But that is my like weird, that's my Bono story. I'm just talking over the timer at this point, so I'm so sorry. You can feel free to put me on mute. Um, and one thing, like none of us knew. Me and my siblings did not know that they were Bono's kids for a very long time. And like somebody one time, my sister made the observation, like, "Oh, Jordan always has like the newest cell phone. Like, does her dad work for Vodafone or something?" And somebody was like, "No, Jordan's dad doesn't work for Vodafone." And then like nobody would like no, it was kind of a running joke that like Meg didn't know what Jordan's dad did, and Meg didn't know why that was so funny. And then she found out that Jordan's dad was Bono. It's kind of like, oh, like right, the most famous person in Ireland. And this was like around the time of the U2 iPod. They were like a year away from that. Like Vertigo, City of Blinding Lights, like it was peak U2 era. Um, Eve was her younger sister. Eve's now like a famous actress. And very talented, also took dance classes with Eve. Great. Had a nice time. Nothing bad to say about either of the girls when we were in high school slash middle school era together. And Jordan had like their family had a thing happen where for I think the fourth baby, Jordan told a friend at school. They told like three people, like total. And one of their friends' dads was like the head guy at RTE News, which is like the BBC for Ireland, or like like NBC News. um, this was not the year that they put the U2 songs on your iPod. This was when they released the red and black iPod that had the U2 signatures on the back. This was How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb era. So anyway, one of Jordan's friends, their dad was the head of RTE. And he broke the fact that Allie was pregnant before they had announced it. And this was like a huge betrayal in Jordan. Like it was Jordan's like best friend, I think. And like she stopped being friends with that person because they had betrayed her. Like and I feel like that was like a really instrumental thing that I learned at a very young age was like that kind of loyalty to other people is really important. Um and it was that thing of like he couldn't resist the scoop, right? And he didn't care the effect it had. Like I'm like it was a big fucking deal that that got out, like that leaked and that like that was broadcast with no one's permission. But this was like the it was like a different time, like whatever. But it was one of those things that I think like sometimes when people talk about like celebrities and boundaries, they're still crossing a ton of fucking boundaries and it's just like so normalized now that we don't think about it. But like that story to me, I was like, that's your best friend. And you told them something like exciting about your life. And then it ended up on the news. And your mom, who like is pregnant, is now stressed about this other thing. Like, and it sucks for everyone. Like you feel like, and I feel like that is like so horrific to me. And I feel like there's a reason that there's so many movies made about like when you become famous, everybody becomes a monster and you're really just trying to get the monsters out of your inner circle. Like the amount of people who have found out that their boyfriend or their best friend is posting about them on their own snark Reddit is like, fuck. Sometimes it's the haters are in your house. And I feel like with celebrity, I try to have like a very normal approach to them because they're just people, but also because like they deserve to be people. They don't, and especially with like the Connor and Hudson of it all, like they blew up so fast. And I just like, I do take, I do take my own rule around not talking about them as people very seriously because like they deserve one, I think the acting deserves to be talked about as acting and as their performance. This is now just me on a soapbox being like, this is why I do what I do. But like, I don't know, I think it's important to fucking articulate it every once in a while for myself, if no one else. Um, but like one of the reasons that I'm very dedicated to just talking about their performance and not talking about them as people is like we had too many people talking about them as people to the point that like they don't get to be just people anymore. And I feel like I was talking to my friend about this today. I was like, when they filmed season 1, they thought like 10 people were going to see it. Like I don't know how you come back and do season 2 without that having enough. And like it's also that thing of like we'll always have season 1. Like I don't whatever happens next happens next. Like The Long Game is a very different book from Heated Rivalry. I don't expect it to have the same thing. But like it's so and like people will try and kind of like mitigate it. And I see this all the time, especially around like Hudson's girlfriend, where people will be like, no, like I'm not obsessed with her. I just like her tattoo. And I'm like, I don't even know what tattoos this woman has. Like the level of disconnected you can be versus the level that most people are. And like, I don't know. I don't want to blame it all on the fans because I think it is encouraged by so many different structures to engage in a certain way, but like I just feel so strongly about like you don't need to care about the celebrity in order to care about the art that they make. And like until what they're doing outside of their art is interesting philanthropy, I won't follow it. Like and I like like I pay attention to Paris Fashion Week. Like it's not like I don't like the things I just don't care about the I don't care about the ecosystem of celebrity because I think it's truly one of the most like heinous forms of marketing we currently have and I don't totally get it. It doesn't work on me. Maybe this is like an autistic vibe that I have that like just I don't vibe with it the same way other people do, but like seeing a celebrity wear a jacket does not make me want that jacket. So it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work on me. So like I feel like there's part of this that's like, yeah, it's easy for me because it's I'm not the audience that they're seeking. So I understand for other people it is more difficult to make these breaks. I don't know. Um it's this thing of like and I get like I again I try to really understand that like there's so many different ways that people do interact with these people, do interact with their art, whatever. It's the stuff of like, well, didn't you see that his brother's girlfriend posted an and it's like, why are you following his brother's girlfriend's Instagram page? Let's start there. You know what I mean? Like, it's that stuff with celebrity, and that's not about Connor or Hudson. That's about fucking like it I've seen this behavior in other fandoms, and what I see in the heated rivalry fandom, and I've called this out before, is very much particular tactics that I saw in the K-pop fandom that terrified me. Where I was like, what are you talking about? Jungkook's brother once liked fan art and therefore these two were dating. Like that's not it's not the thought process of like mental wellness. You know what I mean? And I feel like especially with RPF stuff, yeah, like I think like that makes sense. Like it's influencer marketing works because you're like, you have the same body type as me. What clothes are you wearing? Where can I find those? Like it does make sense to me that it works in that way in particular. It's just so unfathomable to me anytime it's like, oh, someone wore this jacket, now it's sold out. I'm like, why? What part of the brain reacts that way? Like it doesn't happen to me. So I'm always just curious. Um but like I think with RPF stuff in particular, and this is the influence that I see coming over from the K-pop sphere that I was very fascinated by when I found it in the K-pop sphere, because that was the first time I had really dealt with a fandom that was very heavy into it. It creates conspiracy brain. It does the same thing that watching Fox News all day does, but it rots you into like like it's not conservatism and it's not whatever the fuck they're doing on Fox News now, but like it's this thing where now every single thing that these people see, they're not actually seeing what's actually happening. They're seeing how they can project their narrative onto it, and that's a really scary thing to me. The thing is, the other thing that I'll say, and this is a joke. This is a joke, but it's also not a joke. You know what I mean? Like, let's just hold hands and get through this next sentence together, and hopefully people know what I mean by it. If fucking RPF people were just a little chiller, I think it would be easier to just like be like, okay, you guys are having your fun over there. But it can never just be, yeah, I think they fucked a few times. Like, I think they might have hooked up while they were on set. It's always like, and they're soulmates, and their girlfriends are long term beards. And I'm like, you would have an easier time making me feel like you were like being very like chill about this whole thing if you were like, yeah, I like to imagine that maybe they had a threesome once. Like that would be more like acceptable in my brain than all of these people who are like, actually, this is a signal that Connor is sending Francois. And it's like, no, it's not. It's simply not. Like there's no way that this is what's happening. You know what I mean? Like that's the other thing is like yes, like it's the Larry of it all, and like this idea that people are still out there, like the tagging, and also like people were doing bullshit. Like the other, okay, here's the thing. Here's the other thing, and I'm gonna be really fucking mean right now, so strap in. A lot of people think they're funnier than they are. A lot of people have bad senses of humor and they think they're funnier than they are. And so they think it'll be funny to ask the F1 drivers about their own RPF, or they think it'll be funny to leave a comment under Hudson's Instagram photo that's calling back to like a fic that someone's writing about them. Like, it's not. It's simply not funny to write under a photo of Hudson as if you are tipping him on a Camboy website. That is not a funny joke. But these people don't have a good sense of humor and they think they're in on an inside joke altogether. You know what I mean? Like her being in on the joke I think is great. Like her making jokes to get through whatever the fuck is happening right now in her life, cuz how weird. Like how fucking strange. Like I think that this is the thing that I do with celebrities that I feel like people don't often slow down and do enough who are in these communities of like this woman was dating the hottest server at her pasta restaurant. And he was like, I want to be an actor. Do you know how many fucking guys are working right now at pasta restaurants who are that attractive, who are like, I want, I want to date that guy. Like the fact that, like, and in the last 9 months, like he has gone from a complete unknown to now like they're just hanging out at like that's wild. That's a wild thing to go through. And all of the while she is having people send her the absolute craziest fucking DMs. Like because I think that people often like focus on like the death threats of it all and I'm like no, it's the weirder shit. It's the stuff we never talk about. Um It's so and, like, she's just doing her own thing. She seems very chill. She doesn't sit like this she has not done anything to capitalize on this wave, you know what I mean? Like, it's just I don't know, it's so baffling. Um, and it's that thing of like it's fine that people have like enjoyed her work and found her, you know what I mean? Like whatever. But like there's just such a difference between like appreciating someone passively even and making it and like going into their DMs to try and like make a thing, happen. I don't know. I really think the sense of humor thing is something I've been thinking a lot about lately where I'm just like, why is this so distasteful to me? And I'm like, oh, it's because they think it's funny. And it's not funny. And it's like bumper sticker humor, which is another insult that I have for a lot of people's level of humor these days, where it's just like, that's not a joke. Like, that's not a joke. It's not funny, but a lot of people don't have the discernment and they think and also like the idea of like one big inside joke that we're all in on, like, I don't know, it's happening right now. Um a lot with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Like I feel like somebody like Letterboxd maybe recently tweeted the like which could mean nothing joke. And like what gets me about everybody doing this like which could mean nothing about Ben Affleck and Matt Damon being gay for each other is like they have made much funnier jokes about themselves for years. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck know that you think they're fucking. They like that you like they joke about the fact that people think they're fucking. And they have since they got famous. Like there has not been a time where they were not willing to like make that joke or like even like make oblique references to the fact that they may have fucked once upon a time. Like and it's just like to them not a big fucking deal. Like and so it does amuse me that so many people are like which could mean nothing. They might be secretly gay and it's like yeah, Matt Damon's been saying that shit for years. Like Ben Affleck went on Ellen and was like places you'll find Matt Damon, his house, the bar, my bed. Like what does that mean, Ben? Like but like who cares? The other thing that gets me is like who fucking cares? If Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have been having sex for the last 25 years, good for fucking them. They seem to really like each other. I'm glad that they've had a close friend to navigate Hollywood with, particularly because Ben Affleck has been all over the fucking place. Like that's the thing. Like Mindy Kaling wrote her first thing. What broke Mindy Kaling into Hollywood was a homoerotic play in which she and her friend parodied Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Like this is not a new joke, and yet everybody's insistence on being like those two in this way that I'm like, come on, come on, like it's also this thing that like makes me feel like everybody is 5 years old. Like now I'm just ranting about how I don't find the internet funny anymore and I used to find the internet so fucking funny. But it makes me think that everyone is 5 years old because they're like, "Oh my god, they're actually like secret soulmates and they're doing it." And I'm like, "Or like I just like as someone who knows a lot of people who have like had open relationships, been in polycules, had like all of these I've had a lot of experience in my life of people having non-conventional relationships with each other that are queer. I'm like, that wouldn't be shocking to me. It would not be surprising to me if occasionally their relationship status with each other changed over the years. Not in an RPF way, but in a, yeah, people are fucking complicated. Like, like shit happens. You go through some weird stuff sometimes. Sometimes like your alcoholic friend moves in down the hall and you get really, really close for a while. Who cares? Like, and just I I want people to feel free to imagine the stuff because that's not the problem I have with it. But the weird thing that I think happens now with conspiracy brain around it is this like secret Taylor Swift is actually getting married to Carly Kloss and Travis is actually getting married to Ross and all of this stuff is actually what's happening and they're not together and it's like oh my god, like at a certain point your brain is just like not. And also it's the who cares and it's the like can we have men who express affection for each other not immediately have people be like gay, like it just feels so homophobic, but it's coming now from the queer community a lot in this way that I'm like it's still not great. Like I like let boys be affectionate. I also saw this thing and I okay we're gonna get into some risky territory here. There was an article like last week or something. Like it was a weird article. I'm not sticking up for the article, but GQ published an article that was like why we love watching straight men make out. And like they named a bunch of dudes. It was Hudson and Connor were in there, but it was Shane and Ilya. It was not Hudson and Connor. It was like people enjoyed watching these two make out in heated rivalry. And a bunch of people made videos. Like, you are calling them straight, you are assigning a sexuality to them. And I'm like, they are. And so are you, by saying these two have not come out, and therefore, like, these two, like, it's Schrodinger sexuality. And it doesn't fucking matter. The thing is, like, by making videos being like, to assume someone's sexuality is offensive when the assumed sexuality in a heteronormative society is heterosexual is a funny thing to do, because what those people are all doing inherently in their videos is assuming their sexuality is not heterosexual. Like, like, it doesn't fucking work. You can just be like, this is a gross article that was done poorly and also like is so fucking heteronormative it makes my teeth hurt, without saying, because these two are clearly gay for each other. Like, it's just so funny to me, because it's also like, we just never talk about bisexuality being an option, which as a bisexual person drives me up the fucking wall. Like, it's this stuff. And again, this is what I mean by like, because RPF is all about like these two being fucking soulmates, like people get so wrapped up in the idea. And I'm like, what if like a lot of actors, it's fluid? What if being a person in a creative space makes you like much more open in terms of your like soul and spirit, and therefore you connect with people in a number of different ways, sexually and platonically, at different points in your life? Like, do we all like? I am very like, I've been on record many times saying I love that Ilya says he's bisexual and names that he's bisexual, because so many times bisexual people are given this like, I don't have a label, I don't care about it. But like the thing is, like, I really try to not. I don't watch a lot of other heated rivalry creators, because I got accused of ripping one off earlier in my video making and was like, oh God, I don't want that to happen by accident. And then whenever videos would get suggested, a lot of them are about Connor and Hudson, or they'd be about like things that people had dug up on the internet. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like, we're all on a fucking spectrum, and it's all kind of individual. And it's why, like, whenever people are like, well, I'm sapiosexual, I'm like, if that label helps you, that's great. I think a lot of people do need to find someone's like mental acuity like attractive before they're willing to have sex with. I don't think that's like a unique thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't expect anyone to ever publicly state anything about who they're fucking, because I don't care. But then there becomes this thing where, like, in defending the thing, we're making a bigger deal, and we're also making a different fucking statement that is not actually helpful. It's just contradicting heteronormativity. But we're not trying to create homonormativity. We're just trying to create openness and discussion. Like the point, like, it's a flawed system to try to get into and be like, well, instead of assuming this, let's assume this. And it's like, let's make no assumption. Let's not frame the article that way. Like, it's, yeah, and it's also just like, I think we've done a really good job, almost too good of a job maybe, in separating queer politic from sexuality. Because like, when you used to come out to people, like, that was always that used to be the line. When we talked about coming out, it was always like, it's hard to come out because sometimes when you come out to people, they immediately start imagining you having sex. And that's like not a thing. And it hypersexualizes gay people, and it makes people like afraid to have these conversations with their family members, because they're like, I don't want my family members to assume that I'm having sex with this person. Which is totally fair, and was what was happening for a very long time. But now that we've divorced sexuality so much from queerness, and not all queer people have a sexuality that involves sex. So like, again, we've done a good job at that, but there is a certain amount of like, now it's like so unoffensive to assume that anyone might be queer because being queer is better than being straight. I'm like, that's also not like a helpful dichotomy. Like, what if we want everyone to feel comfortable? And I don't need to know unless I need to know. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it without like, but I just, why can't everybody just be fucking more normal about this? And I know that normal's not a great word to use, but please know what I mean by that. Like, just like, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot to it that deeply bothers me. And now I've ranted about it for 25 minutes straight. So I'm sorry if anybody was trying to work during this 25-minute timer. We're about to hit a break for 10 minutes. But like, yeah, I find the current culture around shipping, around like no, but like I think Kinsey is like helps. You know what I mean? Like I personally, as someone who like did not understand my sexuality for a very long time, Kinsey was so helpful to me. Like, and it was helpful for me to like understand that other people had very different numbers on that scale. And it's also this thing of like, why would it matter? Like, I wish that people could just have fun with their thoughts and have fun with their ideas and not make it anyone's problem. But because they can't, I feel like my brain gets really strict around it. Like, honestly, yeah, I think Kinsey neutrality is like really funny. I think it's like kind of a perfect word for like it's a perfect phrase because it is like it's the equality that we were seeking and that we have sought and continue to seek because it's not there for everyone is like it doesn't matter. like that was I think like the Love is Love and the campaign for marriage equality, which I understand has a lot of roots in many different places in terms of like getting access to hospitals and the AIDS epidemic and like all of these really terrible things that the community went through where marriage was a solution to many of the injustices that we were facing. But like, yeah, start a Substack. Everyone start a Substack now. It's so fun. It's so fun. But like, yeah, I feel like I don't know. We've strayed so far from the thing into this like other weird thing where I'm like, well, this just took all of the bad parts of heteronormativity and like flipped them in a way that's not helpful. Few things about Substack. When you make a Substack, I need to make a post about this. This is the homepage you need to save. This is called your dashboard. This is going to be found at the link of your Substack /publish/home. If you just go to substack.com, it looks like this. It looks like Twitter. It's fucking awful. This is not where you can do anything from. If you hit create, it's going to look weird. You need to go over here and you need to find your dashboard button, which is on this side panel and like almost all the way down. And when you hit the dashboard, you'll come to the actual helpful information place. And here is where you can make all the edits. And when you click on settings, the actual list you're looking for will pop up. The dashboard. You don't care about the main homepage. It's not for you. It's a social media platform that they're trying to build in the back of Substack. What you need to save is your dashboard. When you're bookmarking your Substack, bookmark your dashboard. This is genuinely like this chart is one of the funniest charts to me that I've ever created. I had 31 subscribers and then I removed a bunch of people from my list. So I went down to 26 subscribers. And then I gained some back over time. I was up to 37 subscribers and then I published one article about heated rivalry. And I bounced, and we've continued to bounce. So now I'm up to 590. I've lost a few along the way because I haven't been publishing. I don't know. But I try not to overthink it. But like, I wrote 237 Substacks with an audience of 30 people. So don't worry about your subscribers. That's the point I'm trying to make. On Substack, like the reason I now have subscribers on Substack in the numbers that I have them is because I make content elsewhere. and talked and made 2 Substacks about the thing that people really cared about at the time they cared about it. Honestly, a little delayed, but whatever. And so, like, don't worry about subscribers. Like, they will find you. Worry about the work. Publish as much as you want to. Don't worry about sending people too many emails. They'll unsubscribe if they're overwhelmed, but most people fucking don't care. Like, I have done last year, I did the 25 days of Smokemas where I published a blog every single day for 25 days in a row and lost my fucking mind. Yeah, share your Substack. It doesn't, like, I would love to subscribe to it because I'd love to read your writing. But if you're like, I don't want to share it yet, that's totally fine. But also, like, I would love to read your writing, so feel free to share it. And also, like, the point of Substack, I think, is very important, is just getting the work out there, and then it's out there, and you don't have to do it again. Like, part of what was really great for me early on with Substack was like, and that idea is now out there, and I don't have to constantly go like, I thought of that and I never wrote it down. And sometimes when I go back and read my old stuff, I'm like, God, if only anyone had listened to me about Mitch McConnell in 2016. I wasn't writing in 2016. I am also still on my very old like Substack for me is where I publish mostly personal essays, but for the last year I've only published heated rivalry stuff on there. I used to have a blog. I still have a Tumblr. Some people follow me on Tumblr from YouTube at one point. I'm never sure. I'm never sure who did. Occasionally on Tumblr I used to like publish stuff that I'm like, I don't want people from the internet seeing that, but like everyone on Tumblr is someone from the internet to me. I have like 2 real friends who still have Tumblr, 2 IRL friends, not real friends, and neither of them like pay attention to it. I also have stopped kind of using it. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Wait, that is true. Blogger did die when Google killed Reader, and RIP Google Reader. People are still mourning it to this day. Serena, what's the title of your Substack? Because it might be blocking you from sharing links, which would be a bummer, but would be on brand for YouTube. And then we can like, what's your like title.substack.com? And then I can put it in if you'd like me to. Oh God, I can't believe it's already 11:15. Hi, Weem. Do you want to say hi? She kind of said hi and then she bumped the microphone. What's up, little one? What are you doing? I've been asking Weem all weekend if she wants another sibling or if I just want a sibling for her. And I don't know. I think she liked having another cat around. I mean, like, I didn't really give them a choice. Weem was the second cat in the house, so it was really a matter of if Boo Boo wanted to have a sister, and we didn't give Boo Boo a choice. But like, if I get like a kitten, I feel like they'll like grow up with Weem, like, and Weem kind of guiding them, which sounds nice. Like, I think Weem's like really good at setting boundaries. Like, Weem was good at setting boundaries with Boo Boo. Weem also used to attack Boo Boo anytime she like came out of the bathroom, which wasn't great, but Boo Boo kind of loved it. So, Boo Boo just wanted to play. Oh God, I can't talk about Boo Boo too much. I will start crying. Yeah, like Weem's like really independent, so I feel like she liked that Boo Boo was like the lap cat because it kind of like took the heat off Weem. Like she'd always come over and hang out when we were hanging out, but like Weem likes to be not touched or really reached for. Sometimes when I'm on live, like on TikTok, and like Weem's in the background, I feel like sometimes people are like, "Pet your cat." And I'm like, I literally can't. Like, she does not want that, and she will run away from me. Oh, you want to play? She has twine on the floor. Oh my goodness. Will I ever finish this Substack? Yes. Will I get my life together tomorrow? Signs point to yes. Will I do a good job at work? Maybe. I'm gonna try. I should probably bounce after. It is gonna have one of each. It's very fun. Wait, I don't want to end before I've had the chance to find um Serena's blog. Um, yeah, with introducing them, I have a railroad apartment, so my hope is that for the first day, the first like few days, I could keep the kitten slash the new cat like in the bathroom and then my bedroom ideally. I'm really sad about that idea because I do love having Weem in the bedroom, but I think like it would work. Um, or Weem can stay in the bedroom and the cat can have run of the house and kind of get used to it. Like I can switch them ideally, maybe. Um, there are diffusers that are really helpful. There's like multiple. Okay, this is where my like pet world knowledge comes back into play. There is a multi-cat diffuser which mimics the pheromone that mothers use to make their kittens stop fighting. Yes, there's Feel Away for solo cats, and then there's which is like just a calming pheromone, and that is the pheromone that they're always giving off from their cheeks. There was Comfort Zone by Feel Away, and Feel Away is the company that makes the actual like produces the actual pheromone that goes in the thing. And they had like a long-term licensing agreement with this company called Comfort Zone. So it used to be Feel Away by Comfort Zone. Now it's just Feel Away, I think, again, and their packaging looks uglier, but the product is the same. Then there's one for solo cats that are upset, and then there's one for multi cats, which has a completely different pheromone in it. So you can actually have both going, and that can be helpful. And then there are collars that you can put on the cat, which are really helpful because the diffusers actually only fill like one room. So you can put a collar on the cat, which is for the solo. So it's just to help them calm down like the solo cat. I can't put that collar on Weem because Weem has slipped that collar every single time we've ever tried to put it on her, and it ends up in her mouth. This has happened since I adopted her. Because we used to put them on all the cats at the pet store who would come in for adoption because we used to get them from the Multnomah County Animal Shelter. Um, it's it's the it's the pheromone they give off from their nipples, is my understanding, when they're feeding the cats, because like otherwise they'd be fighting a lot more to get to the milk, and it's like a vulnerable area. So like that's when they emit the pheromone most. So that's my understanding, is that like the cheek one is the calm down pheromone, and the dual cat is the stop fighting over the milk pheromone. But other things you can do to help introduce cats is like let them meet slowly through the door, saturate the environment with their different scents, but also one of the times that cats give off really good scenty pheromones is when they're eating. So if you like have a t-shirt or something that you can like brush along their the side of their like mouth and neck as they're eating, that is usually like a pretty happy scent. Um and so you can introduce them through that. Um, no, okay. Does it block you if it's like the title, like without a link, like just like the title of your Substack? Um, I think most of them do. Um, Probably, yeah, because like babies are like lulled in, like I mean you're also like getting milk, so there's like a certain like because I here's the thing, I would assume that it's much more prevalent in um animals that have litters rather than um animals that feed usually solitary. So like a cow, I would imagine might have some, but it wouldn't be the same because like they like we've evolved expecting only one, you know what I mean? So I'm sure we give off pheromones, but maybe it's different pheromones. um Okay. Substack didn't pop up there. Okay, SE brings up quite a few, unfortunately. Yes, this is what I find fascinating is that like dogs can actually sense how like happy and sad you are based on how you smell versus um like we don't have that capability at all, which I do think people like to throw it back to the Teen Wolf fandom. People used to write about like, oh, it's hard to be in love with a werewolf because they can perceive your feelings because they have the same thing that dogs do. And I always thought that was like a really funny headcanon that everybody had. Dogs, S.E. Harris one. Oh yeah, that does help. Dogs can smell the difference between a cookie with baking soda and a cookie without baking soda. The olfactory senses that a dog has is the equivalent of like the way that the amount of power that their nose has to discern smells is the equivalent of if we could see crystal clear for 1,000 miles. Like if 1,000 miles away we could make out the details on a tree, that is that is like the analogy to how good a dog's sense of smell is. Which is just fucking wild. Did you Okay, before I share, like I did find it. Before I share it, just want to make sure you're cool with me sharing it because I'm happy. Like I'm gonna subscribe, but I don't want to share it if you don't want it shared, because that feels important to get your consent before I drop it in the chat. But if you'd like me to share it in the chat, I am happy to. And then I gotta go. Okay, cool. I just hope we didn't peer pressure you into getting subscribers to a thing that you didn't want subscribers to. Because I know that that is an easy thing to happen. Dogs are working 24/7 down at the old factory. Is it Ola factory? It's like, what am I? Oh God, that's not where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to do this. Badoo 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 badoo. Badoo badoo. Yay. Okay, everyone go follow Serena Substack. Go support. This is now Inception because I've got the video of my video. Like this, the stream is of me watching my stream, so we've got it double. Anyway, I hope this was supportive. You can always, Serena, if later you're like, stop following me, feel free to unsubscribe me manually. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I'm always very like aware that sometimes having an audience early on can be funky. So if you'd like to forcibly unsubscribe me on the back end, feel free to do so. I won't take offense to that. That makes sense. That also makes sense as to why like pregnant women are like, I can't smell eggs. Like I will get physically ill. I really want to finish this Dunkin'. I didn't eat dinner. I had a really good heirloom tomato sandwich though, and that was incredible. And like nothing will top that, but there's part of me that's like, I do actually need to eat food. But then I'll go to bed full. This is the today was not the thing I had in mind, but it's okay. That's where we're at. But okay, I hope this was a great Sunday stream. Sign up for all the Substacks that you want to if you want to come to the Sunday series, which will be at 12 noon. Sign up for that. Please sign up for free. Don't feel the need to pay me for that. And look, I'm not I don't want the diarrhea lettuce, but I'm also like, I've taken some risks over the last few days, as I always do. What if I ordered Taco Bell right now? Honestly, it does sound kind of good. I just want to remind everybody that the French Revolution began because the women of Paris were sick of their bread being cut with sawdust. Just a fun fact to remind everybody of. The French Revolution started because a bunch of ladies were like, hey, the quality of our ingredients is going down and the risk is going up, and we think that if we pay taxes, that shouldn't be a thing we deal with. And then they kind of fucked it up because they let Robespierre take over. But Cheesy Gordita Crunch is the best thing on the menu. It is also like $9 now. When did that happen? You know what I think they actually might have right now is the like mini Cheesy Gordita Crunches that are actually like surprisingly good despite being like the thing about Taco Bell is like it is a salt bomb, but I want it. And I did technically make some money today. And I'm like, and they are one of the only places that are open. Like they have these like mini street chalupas or something they're called, but they are a Cheesy Gordita Crunch. And they come in like a 2-pack and they're like really good. Oh, there's like 3 near me. The thing about Taco Bell is like when you're in the mood for Taco Bell, you are in the mood for Taco Bell. You are not in the mood for Mexican food. It is a different entity unto itself. And oh God, remember when things were great? I had oh God, I recently at my job was like I was like working with a client, and then I realized that she was like the VP of communication and strategy at Taco Bell, and I was like, I have so many questions. Please let me talk to you for forever. Hell yeah. I feel like I for years did the it's good to go. Like that'll be the right angle for it. When the Crunchwrap Supreme first came out, oh, that's so weird. I hate that. I hate that you can see my hand on the lag. But when the Crunchwrap Supreme first came out, the ads were all it's good to go. And that was really funny. No, yeah, you can get lettuce removed from this stuff. I also don't like Taco Bell tomatoes. So those come off every time too. The delay is so funny. Like, unfortunately, it is amusing to me. I am somebody who used to just like sit in the mirror and like be like, wow, they're endless. Taco Bell did have, I mean, Yo Quiero Taco Bell, incredible. Think outside the bun, incredible. Fourth meal, very smart. That's what it is. Um, Hell yeah. Oh, that's so fun you're going to a wedding on Friday. I hope you have a great time. I hope your dress is exactly what you want to be wearing. That's so fun. I haven't been to a wedding in forever, which I like am not I I did get an email from my ex's dad inviting me to their like wedding anniversary. I don't think John wants me there, but I did get that email. I was like, who? And I was like, oh, I'm being invited to Hawaii for something I will not be going to Hawaii for. But imagine me crashing my ex's dad's wedding anniversary because I am in a lot of their wedding photos. Like, unfortunately for them, I was there. And he didn't like I loved my ex's mom. My ex's dad was not a fan of mine. At their wedding, I did get absolutely shit-faced. But in like a respectable way because so they got I'm going to shit talk my ex's dad's wedding for a minute. They live in Hawaii because he is a monk seal researcher. So like they are not from Hawaii, they're white people who live on Hawaii, but my ex grew up in Hawaii. So John lives in Hawaii. I don't feel like I'm doxing him because again his name is John. Um, so he got married at the Honolulu aquarium, which is gorgeous and in Waikiki. And the thing about the Hawaiian wedding industry is like there are like so many weddings every single day. It's bananas how many people get married in Hawaii. So they were in Waikiki, which is like the tourist side of the island. Like they live on Oahu, but like he got married on the tourist side of the island. And there's like a wedding industry over there. So it's like you have your rehearsal dinner here and you do this here. And it's like very touristy, which is like not the vibe of people who live in Hawaii. So it was like a very interesting dichotomy there. Anyway, they're getting married at the Waikiki Aquarium. Like and a gorgeous place, like stunning, really beautiful. Guess what? It rained because it rains all the time in Hawaii. And so they had to very last minute scramble and they put up this big tent for them to get married under. Now, everyone was supposed to be seated at their tables that they would be at for the reception for the wedding. I had a seat at the head table because I was dating John's kid. So so they clear the they cleared the table out of the way, like the table I'll be sitting at, so that they can get married where the table was, which makes sense. It's at the front of the thing. However, nobody thought, hey, only one person who's sitting at that table isn't in the wedding. What are we going to do for her? And so no one thought about me. So I ended up having to stand at the back next to the bartender, who thought it was very funny that they were treating me so poorly. Like it was truly not even like an afterthought. It was a no thought and to like figure it out. And I was like, okay, like not a big like I'm fine to go anywhere, but like it was hilarious how unconsidered I was. So the bartender was laughing with me about that. And I was drinking white wine because I like they didn't have an open bar. They had like open red or white wine. And so I was like white wine, white wine. They ran out of white wine so fast at this fucking wedding. But the bartender, because we had made friends during the ceremony, she kept 2 glasses for me. So I was having a ball at this wedding. And then I like fell at one point. Yeah, it was great. Like I had a good time. I had a good time. Like I was a cater waiter, so like we had jokes, like it was fine. And oh, the food was so good at that wedding actually because they served so many different types of poke and I had such a great time. And then the next day they stayed in Waikiki for their wedding night, which was understandable. But me and like John's 2 kids went back to the house. And so it was me, my ex, and my ex's brother. And the next morning we had to wake up and basically put on the day after breakfast, like the gathering of everyone who had like come to the destination wedding so that they could like fly out. Um, and neither of the 2 of them were equipped at all to do anything around party planning. And so it ended up being Claire puts together a nice little spread for the morning after the wedding. Um, I was the only one who was like, "Are there fresh flowers? Do we have anything to like make this look nice?" Because like they had basically bought like a bunch of Whole Foods like frozen appetizers. Um, it was very funny. And like to be fair, the wife knew. Like the wife was very appreciative of me and I also stole her a bottle of champagne for her wedding night and I was like we had some fun little inside jokes. She was very funny. She also okay, I sobbed recently because she's a ceramicist and she actually she made us, but I kept them because I kept the cats. She made us 2 bowls that looked like the cats. So like they're the cat, like the cat face is the bowl, and then like Weem's markings are like where Weem was. And for Boo Boo's, she wiped like where the slip was, she like wiped where Boo Boo's eyebrows were. So like she didn't have eyebrow coloring in the bowl. And it was just like the sweetest detail because Boo Boo had no eyebrows. It was a very funny fact about Boo Boo. And I recently broke Boo Boo's bowl. Boo Boo's bowl broke and I sobbed. I'm still so sad about it. It was, and like I didn't use them because they're ceramic and my cats eat raw food. So they were just kind of like around. But I'm really, really sad about that. And I had kind of forgotten about it. But I do think it's one of the cutest gifts anyone's ever given me. So if you're ever making your friend something for their cats, I do recommend a cat bowl that has their cat's markings on it. I'm like, I want to show you Weems now because I'm like, they're really cute and they're well done. But I'm like, where is it? And I just won't show you the back of it. But no, Boo Boo's like shattered. Like there was so much dust. This is Weems though. And like if you've ever seen Weems like markings, yeah, it like if it was one big crack down the middle, I absolutely would have saved it. But yeah, this is, and like Weems a little calico, so she just has like her little calico marks, and then their eyes were their color. But yeah, Boo Boo's was black, and then like this whole area was like wiped off. So yeah, these were custom bowls, but they're really cute, and I loved them. I mean, I should use Weems for things because I really don't feed her out of it. Because raw food and ceramics are not my preferred style. Okay. I'm so bad at getting off the stream. I always have so much fun with everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here. Hopefully people got some work done before I just started ranting about RPF for 25 straight minutes. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of feelings. So yeah, we'll figure out some stuff to do together. I'm gonna be doing the Sunday series. I'm hoping to do like a Wednesday, like get together on stream kind of thing, like do some work together because I think like it's important, and like I do work when I'm doing this, so it's like helpful for all involved, you know? Like I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Vibes. Yay. I'm so glad to hear that. It really does make me so happy. And I'm also grateful for everyone who comes up and comes to hang and is able to make these. So thank you all for being here. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. I will be sure to probably do some more of these. I have a bunch of work I have to do before next week, and my concentration has been shit lately. So these are super helpful. I need to enter in all of my jokes into a Notion because I think I'm going to go see a comedy coach who's going to tell me if I want to keep doing this or not. I don't know. I love comedy. I also don't know that I love it in the way that I thought I would love it. And I think I love having a lot of control over my life, and videos allow me more control. And I don't have to wait for gatekeepers to tell me that I'm funny. Do you mean the I love you, you love me song? Which Barney song? Oh God, I forgot about, I'm like immediately, I'm like, what? I feel like I haven't sung the actual one that's not the mean one. The I hate you, you hate me, let's get together and kill Barney one. Which like oh no, what does it say about me that that's the version that immediately comes to mind? I love you, you love me, we're one happy fam. What is it? What is the positive version of the Barney song? We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Is that it? Or did I make up a harmony? Yeah, no more purple dinosaur. Um I feel like I was really into Barney as a kid, and my siblings used to kind of like make like torture me by singing the one about killing Barney. Let's get together and kill Barney with a 2x4. Like what? Look, everybody, Barney's dead. Like there was a few different ones. I feel like this was one of those things that I was like, how did we have regional childhood parodies in the 90s? Like I know that it was happening before the 90s too, but I went to enough schools where there were different versions of this exact song. Yes, like um it's so fascinating to me. It's the same thing with Jingle Bells, like Jingle Bells, Batman Smells, Robin Laid an Egg. Like there were so many different versions of that. Um the Joker got away. Like it's so interesting. It's so fascinating to me. Yes. When you meet someone who plays concentration in a weird fucking way, it's so fascinating. Um You're like, what do you mean? Like, I feel like there was Down by the Banks was another like hand game that like at camp everybody would have to like come up with different ones. Yeah, like everybody's got different intros. Like this is a game of concentration, no repeats or hesitations was like the one I knew, but then I'd go to camp and like people would know different ones. Yeah, like there was that one, and then there was the like down by the banks of the hanky panky where the bullfrogs jump from bank to banky with a hip hop hippity hop scooby dooby 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 kerplop. Like that was the one I knew, but then I'd go to camp and people would be like, that's not it at all. Like that is not how this is said. Like but no, down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I cannot go. I don't remember the rest of that one. Down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go, for if I do my mother will say, did you ever see a bear growing his hair down by the bay? Yeah, see, I sang I sang verse 4 first. um we had one at camp. We had like a few at camp that definitely were different depending on the camp you went to. And I feel like Miss Mary Mac, the ending of Miss Mary Mac, when people would like there were like racist versions and shit. Yeah, Miss Susie had a steamboat. We had one called Fried Ham that like a lot of cheerleaders knew, but like they learned a different version of it than I did. Like fried ham, cheese and bologna. Also, the fact that this is made by Rafi, is Rafi one of the most like prolific songwriters of all time? Sometimes like the thing about Miss Mary Mac is like um the steamboat had a bell. Miss Susie went to heaven and the steamboat went to hello operator, please give me number 9. The boys are in the bathroom, zipping up their flies are in the meadow. The bees are in the park. Miss Susie and her boyfriend are kissing in the dark, 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 dark. The dark is like a movie's like a show is like a TV set, and that is all I know. I know my ma, I know my pa. I know my sister had a 40 acre bra. I don't remember. I think that was the end of it. I don't remember what happened after bra. But that was like a weird variation. I remember learning that in 5th grade and being like, this is not Miss Susie. But yeah, Miss Mary Mac. I'll just. She asked her mother for sons to see those instruments. They just had they touch the sky and they don't come back. It's 4th of July. Yeah, what was the like? God, what was the one that ended with like Chinese, Japanese, Indiana freeze? Good Lord. I feel like that's why there was like a chant in that terrible movie, The Hot Chick, that was like, boys are cheats and liars. They're such a big disgrace. Um, and I feel like everybody memorized that. And I was like, this is Miss Susie, but dirtier. Yeah, Rafi, I think, has a quote about like, I wrote Baby Beluga and I didn't think I'd ever top that. You know what? 7 months later popped out Banana Phone. Never believe you've reached your peak. I just always like I agree with him that Baby Beluga and Banana Phone are 2 lifetime level accomplishments for any artist. And yet it's so funny to me to be like, you never know when you've got a banana phone coming down the barrel. Banana Phone is truly one of the like, what do you mean someone hadn't thought of thought of Banana Phone? Yeah, I'm like Rafi is one of the most prolific. Like, oh my god, his picture is him posing with a banana. Stop. Um, okay, I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Frere Jacques is him. We're learning so much. Wow. This is fascinating. Wait, did you know he was I feel like this is I always assume everyone in this chat is Canadian, by the way. I didn't know he was Canadian. I feel like um I feel like you had just mentioned that and I was like, he's Canadian? Like that's so funny. Charlotte Diamond I know of, but only because of Vermont. Um right, Frere Jacques can't. Like that's yeah, okay, great. 'Cause I'm like, I remember that. And then they had that version in The Princess Diaries too, where the maids like clang their heads together and it was funny. Princess Diaries 2 is one of the best and worst movies. It's a movie that doesn't make any fucking sense in terms of the tone that it struck. He's Canadian, but he's actually Egyptian Armenian descent. Fun fact. I was talking about Armenia earlier today because my best friend in high school was Armenian. I mean, she's still Armenian, but we haven't talked since high school. Why? Because she started secretly sleeping with my brother. Ooh, drama. Okay, that's a fun one to end on. And everyone found out that this was happening the night of prom. Fun. My lore goes crazy. Okay. Okay, that's gonna be it for tonight. Oh, baby, I can. No, it was such a dramatic night. Oh my god. And then we kept being friends for like a few months because I was like, what? Um, and then I believed the lie she told me, and then I was like, I don't believe this lie anymore. And then we stopped being friends right before I went to college. And then she like yelled at me about something else that didn't even make sense. I got yelled at for not coming to a dinner I wasn't invited to for a German exchange student who didn't like me. And I was like, I don't understand how this is my fault. And then we stopped being friends after that. And I like blocked her on Facebook and blah blah blah. And then like or I like unfriended her, you know what I mean? And then a few months later, like when I had just started college, she like reached out over Facebook Messenger and was like, "Hey, I think like we should talk." And I was like, "I don't really have anything to talk to you about. Like what you did was crazy. Um and like the way you treated me was nuts." And then she sent me six like this was before text messages could come through in long form. This was back when texts had to be 240 characters max. So I woke up to a series of six text messages that were like, here's everything I never told you that I thought about you. And it was like all this horrible shit about my weight and about how smart I was and all of this just like really random nasty shit. um and yeah, I'm glad that I never wanted to be friends with her because that's what she was harboring all that time. Um and she had cheated on her boyfriend with my brother, which was not great. Like, so you know, sometimes your friends are actually your enemies. And the reason that it was a big deal that she was sleeping with my brother was not just because it was weird and because she had a boyfriend, both of which would have already been weird. It was because the previous year, the friend that I had had the longest in my life, which was like a big deal because I moved a lot, she had fallen in love with my brother and was like lying to me about her whereabouts, but then would be at my house. She was the one who was obsessed with Sidney Crosby. So this is why I know a ton of facts about Sidney Crosby that I've forgotten over the years. Um, and that friendship ended because my brother like didn't really want to date her in part because one day she called him 37 times while he was at work. The thing about my brother is like we are we were 1 year apart in high school, so like my house was the place we'd all hang. So like his friends and my friends were very like close with each other and his friends had a lot of crushes on my friends and then my friends here's the thing. In some ways, we can't get into the psychology of my friend who it turned out had always been vaguely jealous of me, like hooking up with my, you know what I mean? Like, I can't get into that. That's clearly what, like, there was some weird shit happening there. Um, but you know, it like in many ways that is enough. Also, like I think like with the second one, it was very much like off limits slash the worst thing you could do. Like I call it hitting the big red button theory, where like sometimes in relationships where like there's nothing like wrong, like no one has done anything to each other and you just kind of want to leave for like regular discontented reasons, someone will hit the big red button, like they'll cheat or they'll do something that it's like, well, we can't come back from this. Yeah, I'm not close with my brother at all anymore. Like we barely talk. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, because what went down was so strange and affected disproportionately affected me. Like he was still friends with a lot of those girls after the fallout, but they never talked to me again. And it's like, what? What? So anyway, I'm constantly paranoid that I'm just like a terrible fucking and that doesn't help me be a better friend, so I try to take the lessons and go. But yes, at my prom, after my friend group who was, yeah, that's the thing, is I had asked like, well, um so and then also like, thank you. I wasn't the one who was doing shit. I actually, the annoying thing, I will say, one of the most annoying things about the first friendship fallout that happened was I was being so fucking mature about the whole thing. And one night, we like went over to my friend's house. My friend was dating this guy. Like it was my gay friend was dating this other, like it matters that they were gay because we were in high school and we were sleeping over. So we went over to this guy's house to have a sleepover who was dating my friend. And my friend who was secretly dating my brother had lied to us and was like, I can't make it, but she couldn't make it because she was hanging out with my brother. So it came out that she was there. Like she texted someone else who was there that that's what she was doing and quote unquote like not to tell me. And I was like, we were sitting around a campfire and I remember this coming out and everybody was like, well, how does that make you feel? And I was like, I just wish she was being more mature about this. Like, I wish she would just handle this in a more mature way because it just makes me feel like shit. Because something had happened where we had like gotten a new TV and we went downstairs together and she was like, oh, I'm supposed to pretend I haven't seen this before. And I was like, okay, what a fun way to tell me that like we were hanging out with my brother when I wasn't here. Like, this is so weird. And I said in that circle to my group of friends at the time, I wish she was being more mature about this, which I think is a perfectly normal fucking response to what was happening. And that friend, that new friend who was dating my friend, who was like a shitty guy, it turned out, went to her and told her that I said she was immature, which is not what I said. And then I went to camp for 8 weeks and um she like wrote me a letter, but the letter was all about my brother. And I was like, I'm not responding to this. And then I guess she was like, you responded to other people on Facebook and not me. I didn't, but okay. And then she didn't come to the play I was in. Like I was in a musical, I was in Mamma Mia, everybody was gonna come, and she just didn't come and she didn't say anything. And so my friends who showed up, I was like, what's her like, where's my friend? And they were all like, oh, she was sick. She wasn't able to make it. And I was like, I can tell you're all lying. Like, what? And then they were like, she's really mad at you. And I was like, okay, cool. Then we made up. And then something happened. I said I didn't call her immature because I hadn't called her immature. And I was like, James lied to you. The guy's name was James. I was like, James lied to you. That's not what I said. And then we were cool. And then one night she called James and decided to believe him instead. And then we stopped talking all of junior year. And then she showed up to softball tryouts. Softball was the only sport I played. And we were all like, why is she here? She knows this is a sport I play. And then she made junior varsity and I made varsity. And I was like, thank fucking God. And over the years, I would hear very strange things about how she would compare her boyfriends to my brother to her boyfriends. And then I had this coffee table book. This is so juicy. I had this coffee table book that was like it was our brother got like my older brother got it for us for Christmas one year, and it was like thousands of it was all the capitals of the world. And it was like a coffee table book that had like like fun facts, it was just like it was one of those like it's an encyclopedia kind of thing, but it was like whatever. And there was one night where I like went through this book and was just like telling jokes. Like this is one of my things. This is how I knew that like stand up was something I wanted to do. Occasionally I would just get in the zone and I would hold court and I would just riff. Kind of like what I'm doing now, but about this Capitals of the World book. And I made a bunch of jokes that we ended up making into like Facebook captions. Like it was like a thing within our friend group that I had said a bunch of funny shit that we like immortalized via Facebook caption because it was 2009. When she went to college, this friend bought the mini version of that coffee table book. And her friends at college posted a bunch of photos of her reading it, and their captions were my jokes. So she had stolen all of my jokes about a coffee table book, taken a smaller version of that coffee table book to college, and then passed my jokes off as her jokes. So when I say something fucking weird was happening in that high school, I don't know what, like, I feel like later I was like, so that wasn't normal. Like everything that was happening to me at that time was so unbelievable that like I didn't have time to be concerned with the fact that my friends were kind of like single white femaling on like multiple occasions. These were two different friends. Um Isn't that so funny? Anyway, she's who I think of when Sidney Crosby comes up. And he hadn't come up in my life in a long time because it's really easy to avoid discussions about Sidney Crosby. Like, um, like now I'm like, when I say I have forgotten more about Sidney Crosby than most people will ever know, I mean that so sincerely because like she was following him when he was in like the queue, like because she was from Montreal and her parents were very into like that. I think there was like a lockout the year before, like right, like there was like an NHL lockout the year before he got there, which is why like Ovi won rookie of the year over him or whatever because like they both had their rookie years at the same time because of this. So because there was a lockout, many more people got into watching like the non-professional league in Canada. So like he was like her guy. And so it's very funny to me that I'm like, yeah, I know a lot about 16-year-old Sidney Crosby stats. Here's like Vermont, like the school I went to for high school had kids who went to it who were in the Glades program, which is like one of the like U18 like pro feeder leagues. And so like we had a lot of like hockey drama at my school, particularly around sexual assault that the hockey players had committed, because it's not a one-off issue. And so like hockey was like, I used to talk about hockey a lot. Now I don't talk about hockey. Now I feel like I hide how much I know about hockey, but I think the lockout was 2005 to 2006, right? Like, am I about to reveal too much? It was either, okay, because I think Ovi gets drafted in 05, but then he doesn't play. Sid gets drafted in 06, or is it 04, 05? Okay, so yeah, it was 04. Okay, so it's really heartbreaking. I do recommend it. I think it's Raised. Bread? Is it Bread? We Bred Lions? We breed lions. Okay, yeah. So Ovi's drafted in 04. Sid's drafted in 05. Penguins win the cup in 08, 09. They won in 09. Bruins won in 2011. So yeah, I was very aware of Sidney Crosby's like rookie era because like this girl was my best friend and she really cared about him. So it's very funny to me that a lot of information that I've been hanging on to redundantly, completely uselessly since high school has suddenly been very informative in this other specific way where I'm like, yeah, that is kind of like him. My parents were living in Boston. And I got to go to the TD Garden a lot that year, and I personally am a fan of Zdeno Chara and how tall he was. So I don't mind the Bruins win, but I understand that the Bruins are not a lot of people's favorites. But we don't get a lot of teams in New England, so you got to take them where you can get them. I don't even think I have a team now. I'm like the Penguins. Like I guess like I've always had a. I think the Penguins logo is very silly, but I've always kind of been like it's fucked up that they had a penguin named Pete that they killed, and then they got another penguin and they called him Repeat, and then they killed that penguin too, and now they have a mascot named Iceberg. Um, I mean Vancouver, like the thing of like the Canucks is like they have a good logo though. I don't know. My friend was like a Habs fan, and that was always funny to me that um yeah, like I don't know when did Pete the Penguin happen? It was a while ago, to be fair to the Penguins organization. Pete mascot. Um okay, yeah, it was in 1968. The first Pete was in 1968. Um he made his appearance during the second intermission against the Flyers. He died of pneumonia because his nest was too warm, and then they got a second penguin and his name was Repeat, which is very funny, for the 71 to 72 season. And uh now they have Iceberg, and the berg is spelled like Pittsburgh. Anyway, that's the Penguins. um exactly. Stop killing the penguins, you monsters. Okay, I do have to go. It's now after midnight. I'm like, am I gonna get Taco Bell after midnight? Is this gonna fuck up my whole week if I do this? Can I come back from it if I do? These are the questions we must ask. Thank you all so much for being here. This was so fun. I know I tacked on an extra half an hour after revealing my dramatic prom night drama story, and I didn't even really get into the drama that happened at prom. Um I honestly, and for me, this would really like I had popcorn and then I had a really good tomato sandwich, and then that's it. So I should eat something. Should it be Taco Bell? Probably not. But do I have other food in this house? No. Um, by the way, I did once start a book called Prama. And then I was like, I can't, I can't. Um, but looking back, I'm like, my high school was so full of good. Like, I don't know. I part of the reason I used to write personal essay was because I used to be like, can you believe this shit happened to me? And then I've had a very chill life on purpose the last few years. And I feel like sometimes I forget that I did this to myself, where I was like, I need to stop having big things occur in my life because I feel like I have no sense of who I am outside of like tumult. And that was a tough thing for me to realize. But also, it's a hard thing for anyone to realize, but like it's it's one of those things where I was like, my life is just like a little too fun, actually. I think I'm having like a little bit too much of a time. Everyone needs to slow the fuck down. So I used to write personal essays just to be like, can you believe that one person has experienced all of these things? Um you gotta write the stuff out, and it's okay. There's certain jokes that I'm like I tell that I'm like I'm not telling my parents I tell that joke, but I tell it like other people see it. um my Substack, all of my Substacks have or like the subheader is an or that was like actually the real title, and I find them very funny. God, sometimes I go back and look at my writing and I'm like, this is like some of my Substack is one of the only places I've ever done any writing where I've been like, I go back to it and I'm like, no, this is better than I remember. Not all of them, but some of them are fucking. We're doing it, man. Okay, my phone's about to die, so I do actually have to go. But this was so much fun. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Have a good night. Enjoy your week. Happy